All right, welcome on into the podcast. I'm Brett.
I'm Dorian. This week on You Heard with Nerds, what we're going to be talking about is a new show that's set in the Batman universe. Breath of the Wild 2 might be coming a little bit sooner than we think, potentially. Microsoft potentially may be buying Warner Brothers Interactive, but let's jump into the biggest news of the week.
Biggest and best news I've heard in probably a decade, to be honest.
Even though...
I didn't even read it. Okay, so we're talking about Ready Player One sequel, Ready Player 2.
Two. What's better than one Ready Player?
Two of them.
Two of them.
Yeah, you gotta play two player.
Yeah, exactly.
So allegedly, I'm not gonna say it's coming out in November. I really want it to.
I mean, that's what it's.
It's on Amazon right now, apparently.
Well, and it's
the 24th, November 24th.
November 24th is what they've officially said here. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with everything going on in this current climate, that could definitely get delayed.
Yeah.
Star Wars books got delayed that were ready to go.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't get it. Anyway,
yeah.
At least a digital version of this, hopefully ready to go this November.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, but
for those of you who don't know Ready Player One is in my top 3 books of all time.
Yeah.
Very much nostalgia based for those people older than us, honestly.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Probably like 10 years or so older than us. It hits every beat. It talks about 80s pop culture.
Yeah.
And the beginning of video games and like this world set in like a virtual submersive reality.
Yeah, I mean, best way I could describe it, I'm probably not doing it like a whole lot of justice by saying this, but it's kind of like a sci-fi Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
With
100%.
With like a lot of 80s pop culture references and stuff like that, and more action than you would see in Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Lots of action. The book's a lot darker than the movie and a lot different than the movie. If you've seen Ready Player One, the movie,
yeah,
go read the book. They're very different.
Yeah, no, they most certainly are.
End goal's the same, obviously. A lot of the stuff that happens is similar, but like there's way more challenges in the book. There's a lot more depth, obviously.
Yeah,
and it's not a long read. It's like 300 pages, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, so here's the thing. I don't read really at all, but
he doesn't know how.
Wow,
I'm just kidding.
But
those homeschoolers, man.
I thought you retired that old shtick.
I have to. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Anyhow, so basically, but like this book, like honestly, like I even picked up just because it was an easy read. It was also a good read. It's if you're somebody who has a hard time like actually sitting down, paying attention to, markings on pieces of paper or something like that, then this might be actually something up your alley here, especially if you're interested in like, the story and the content that it's being presented here. But now crazy to think that, it took them like 10 years to like, bring this book out here.
Now, granted, I have not been waiting 10 years.
Nah.
I read it 2015, I want to say.
Yeah, that's roughly around the same time I think I've read it too.
I think you guys were, Darren or you were listening to the audiobook at work.
Yeah.
And said it was really good. And I was like, oh, I'll just buy it because I'm not an audiobook guy.
Yeah.
And so I picked it up and I read it in a day.
Yeah.
Like within 24 hours, I read the whole book.
Yeah.
It's such a good book.
No, it's a good book. I mean, a little slow starting out, but I mean, most books are. But yeah, I mean, basically it really just, picks up steam like after like, I don't know, maybe a couple chapters in or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say like a quarter of the way in.
Yeah. But no, and one of the interesting things about this news or this announcement is apparently Spielberg, Steven Spielberg of all people, he is also helping write or like, putting in like a little bit of I guess like maybe input or whatever, like kind of like mentoring or something like that on the writing of this book here, which for those of you who may or may not know, Steven Spielberg did direct the movie of Ready Player One. So, which leads me to believe that we're probably going to get a Ready Player 2 movie pretty shortly after this book comes out, like maybe a year or two after or something like that.
I mean, if they're working together, what I'm thinking initially is Steven's not writing the book. What I think is happening is, as Ernest Cline, the author, is writing the book, he's writing the script to the movie.
Possibly, yeah.
So I think once this book, I think at this point, they're probably moving into production, or pre-production at least, of the movie.
They got to be.
I can anticipate a next year or year after release for sure.
Well, not next year just because of all,
of
all the COVID stuff here. But I mean,
you never know.
Maybe a year after. I mean, who knows? But yeah, no. Well, speaking about them movies here.
Yeah, so more movies are starting to ramp up production. You're going to see this happen regardless of what happens with, I think, coronavirus. People got to make movies. People got to keep going. So the UK just started lifting restrictions, which a ton of movies are shot over there. You know, Lucasfilm does a lot of work over there.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
And so, you know, I think Batman was shooting over there, if I'm not mistaken.
The Batman was shooting over there, yep.
And then you said Mission Impossible.
Yeah, those are like the two notable ones.
How many Mission Impossibles are there now? Like 13, 14,
I don't
15?
know. They're going to be like Fast and the Furious here,
or the Call of Duty.
Something, yeah. I mean, it's just like, there's going to be a whole bunch of them here, and it's like,
yeah, this is all good news. It's not.
No,
there's nothing really to report on other than stuff starting to open back up. People are going back to work.
Yeah.
Good things are happening.
Good things are happening. No, I mean, it's honestly, I mean, yeah, because I mean, Brett, what's been the best movie you've seen this year? There hasn't been one. Like.
Yeah, there hasn't really been any movies. I'm trying to think what came out.
Okay, I guess Sonic here, but
Sonic came out, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, there hasn't been like really any like, major bangers that we've got to see. Like we haven't been able to see A Quiet Place 2. We haven't been able to see, Black Widow. We haven't been able to, Tenet or anything like that. So
Mulan.
Yeah, Mulan. Yeah, I mean, no, we're it's kind of rough on that whole movie front here this year. I mean, not a whole lot going on.
It will be for a little bit, but it'll be back to normal soon.
Yeah, I mean, God willing, But speaking about one of those movies,
Batman's getting a spin-off. And you might be thinking, wait a second. Hasn't he had spin-offs in the past?
He sure has, Brett.
Yeah, there was a show called Gotham a couple years back that went for, I think, 4 or 5 seasons.
I think about 5, yeah.
And so now
we're getting basically another one.
Yeah, focused around Gotham PD, which who do you think is going to be majorly involved in that? Gordon,
or like maybe like some task force or something like that. I mean,
this is going to be on HBO Max too. It's not going to be on TV or at the theater, which makes me also think it's probably going to be more mature content.
Probably. I mean, I think they kind of have to try to match the tone of the movie, which, I mean, we don't know exactly like what this movie's going to be. Is it going to be rated R? Is it going to be PG-13? Because there's been like some statements by Andy Serkis that may lead us to believe that it could possibly be a rated R movie, because he says like, yeah, it is supposed to be, a darker Batman, and, DC hasn't been shy about putting the rated R label on some of their movies as of late here. But no, I mean, so we'll see how that whole stick goes here. But yeah, I mean, it's focused on the Gotham Police Department, which, again, this is like, we had this. This was Gotham here. I mean, granted, maybe this is going to be an actual good show, but
there's definitely good elements of Gotham for sure.
I mean, it's got its moments.
I would say this is going to be probably more focused on, I don't know. I really don't know why they're doing it. I'm not really excited to see it.
I'm guessing like this is going to be kind of like a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. situation here, where you're probably going to have like maybe a task force or something like that's introduced in the movie, and then like these characters that got introduced to the task force, that are in this task force, they're going to essentially spin off and do their own show here. And chances are you probably won't really see a whole lot of interconnectivity. Just like
they might be background characters in the movie.
Yeah, or like they might pop in a scene, but you might not actually get like but they might not be like required reading material here.
So kind of what this makes me think of right now is what was the name of it was one of the officers in The Dark Knight. And I think her mom was in the hospital. Ramirez.
Yeah.
So someone like that, where they have like a smaller part in the movie.
Yeah, but like they can go into more depth.
Totally.
On that, yeah.
Like Ramirez, or even the guy in the limo, the guy with the shotgun who says wife's in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
Like people like that could be in this universe and have a small impact.
Yeah, essentially like, background characters or like extras or whatever here or something. But yeah, no, I mean, which, could be kind of cool. But I mean, it's just hard to get excited for this just because, again, we've already had something very, very similar to this already done before. Granted, it's going to be completely new characters, completely new universe here for the most part. But, we still don't know like how good the Batman universe with Robert Pattinson is actually going to be. Right. Is it actually going to be a banger? Is it going to be like something like, yes, I want to see more of this. I want to see like, all the different sides of like, this story. Because I mean, here's the thing. If you told me that this show took place like, in the Dark Knight trilogies universe, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm in, because I want to see more of that universe here. I want to see like what other villains might have looked like in that universe, like maybe like cool, Riddler or something along those lines. But yeah, I mean, it's but I mean, right now this is like an unknown quantity, so it's hard for me to actually get excited about it for right now. So.
Sure. Well, moving into some gaming news, we got Breath of the Wild 2 coming out next month. Just kidding, no. Breath of the Wild 2, I mean, we talked about this a little bit before. Yeah. Breath of the Wild 2 could be coming out this year.
And that's what our predictions, at least, well, I guess speaking for myself, my prediction was, because, I mean, Nintendo needed like something to compete with the fact that Sony and Microsoft are going to be launching new consoles. And so if you're wanting, more people to pick up your HD Game Boy, you're going to need something pretty big to like, pull those people in versus like, the next and cutting edge technology here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we were both kind of on the same page with thinking this is going to be a fall, winter release and or spring.
Yeah, but I mean...
So within that little time span of, I don't know, I would say November.
Yeah.
November through March, somewhere in between there is going to come out.
That's what I'm thinking too. But I mean, yeah, because we have not heard really anything about this game since E3 of last year, where they just dropped that, I don't know what it was, like maybe a 30-second teaser. Yeah. But basically, we kind of got a little bit of an insider baseball on this here, where I guess Spanish voice actors for the game were recently being interviewed, and they were asked about like, how's that process going? And basically, there might be a little bit of translation issue there, but they seem to imply that pretty much all their voice work for the game is done. Now, for most games, like the localization part and like, for like voice recording and like, text and all that are typically like one of the last things that's done in video game development here. Mm-hmm. For some games. I mean, they could be, doing like rearranging things potentially because of COVID or something along those lines. Hard to say. But yeah, so it could be something that this is pretty much almost like already done or close to being done, and could be coming out fairly soon potentially. So we'll see. I mean, I fingers crossed. I mean, I hope this is a pretty true indications.
Yeah,
but we'll find out.
Yep. And Xbox is looking now to acquire WB Interactive. Everyone has to have a little bit of news right now, I feel like. Every console for like the last couple of weeks has been PlayStation.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of Xbox news. We got some Switch leaks.
Which, I mean, we could talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, Sony, I guess, is possibly looking at doing like this big backwards compatibility where like you'd be using like a
PS1,
cloud streaming to play PS1, PS2, and PS3. So that way they're actually on a competitive playing field with Xbox on backwards compatibility.
Interesting.
Yeah, but beyond that, let's get back to what them boys at Microsoft be doing here.
Yeah.
Basically, AT&T, which I did not know this until just like recently, apparently owns WB Interactive here. And as a part of like one of the things to, help pay off some of their debts, they are thinking about selling WB Interactive, which is currently valued at $4 billion possibly. So
wow,
not too shabby. And
those transactions.
Yeah, no kidding. But so basically, so there are reports of that potentially happening, and further reports show that Microsoft is an interested buyer, which, some of the studios that would be under WB Interactive's umbrella would include Rocksteady, which are the guys who made the Arkham games, Monolith, who made the Shadow of Mordor games, NetherRealm, Mortal Kombat, and Avalanche, who made the Mad Max game that came out a couple years back. So now, that being said, other than Mortal Kombat, this does not mean that Microsoft will get all the license deals. They're not going to have exclusive rights to make Batman games or the Arkham games. They're not going to have exclusive rights to make Lord of the Rings or Mad Max here, because they would have to go back and renegotiate those licenses with those studios here. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all we know at this point in time here for just hard-nosed facts.
Yeah, I don't want it to become an exclusive bidding war at this point, because I don't want to spend extra money that I don't need to spend.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't play those games, which is unfortunate. But
yeah, I mean, I can see Microsoft, pulling the trigger on buying this, just because they have been acquiring a lot of studios lately, just because one of the biggest complaints that I've been hearing for, people who don't want to, buy Xbox this generation is just there's no exclusives here. Why would I, pay this console when I have more games that I can actually get over here that I want to play? Plus, not to mention too, they've been kind of, been pretty easygoing on their exclusivity, because they've been putting games on that they had exclusive rights to on Switch, Cuphead and Ori and all those games. Also, some of their games Gears of War and Halo on PC. So it's kind of it made it a hard. It makes it a tough argument to buy a Xbox just solely based for the exclusives here. But I mean, I will just say if I have to buy an Xbox to play another Arkham game, I'm gonna be pissed. I mean, that's all I'll leave.
Would you actually buy one for that? That's a lot of money to sink in for one game.
No, that is a lot of money. I mean, honestly, I don't really know, to be honest with you. I mean, it has to be blowing my mind good if I'm gonna
fork out $700, $600 to play one game.
I mean, well,
you might as well not get a PlayStation at that point.
Honestly, yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, here's the thing. Probably what would end up happening is I would just wait until I could snag one for I don't know, maybe $200 if I really, really, really wanted to play this next game. But I don't know. I honestly see myself not going that route, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't do it.
I probably wouldn't. No. So
anyway, let's talk about some movie stuff again.
Yeah.
Just some images that came out of Monster Hunter. So both of us have played Monster Hunter games.
Yeah.
They're fun. They're fun to play with friends, and they're kind of grindy, which is unfortunate, but they're clean games, fun. Yeah,
I mean, you
collect the armor, collect the weapons.
Yeah, you're basically main premise of the game is you and your buddies. You're creating a character. You're going out. You're fighting these big freaking monsters here.
Yeah, you track them, you find them, you kill them.
Yep,
that's really the game.
And then you take the materials that you get from that monster, make better armor, better weapons, and then you go out, rinse and repeat, basically here.
Yeah, so what's her name? Mila
Djokovic, I think.
Yeah. She's starring in it.
Yeah, basically Monster Hunter movie. No, I don't think anybody really asked for this movie.
No, not really.
A live action Monster Hunter movie.
Yeah.
Here. So
yeah, the pictures, they look good.
Yeah, I mean, no, they look like essentially what the pictures show is the weapons from the game. Which
Yeah.
if for those of you who are unfamiliar, they're like huge freaking weapons, like almost, like ridiculously huge, like swords that are like
bigger than your body.
Basically, yeah, no, like they're as tall as you are here and all that, and like and maybe just as wide. And so it's just like, you know, you're gonna have Mila Djokovic swing.
Yeah, she had like the dual blades, the twin blades, like the shorter ones that look more natural. But
and then you had like that one good dude who had like that big bow made out of bones and all that. I'm like, yeah, no, that's gonna be easy to go run after a monster with.
The other girl had the huge greatsword, like that was made out of bone.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So I was like, okay, how is that gonna look natural for her to wield that huge blade? I just don't get it.
Oh, it's not. Come on. I mean, it just straight up is in here. I mean, essentially what it's going to be going on here is just like, you know, granted, like, yes, this game or this movie is going to be paying like homage to the game with, you know, its aesthetics and like, you know, probably just the basic premise of just, you know, people just fighting monsters, you know, all that stuff here. But at a certain point, you know, when it comes to adaptation of certain things, you have to know, okay, what works for live action and what works in a game, anime, or whatever we're basing it off of here. So I think this is going to be like one of those things where it's just like, it's going to be just kind of laughable to see these people, you know, swing around 7-foot swords that probably weigh just as much as they do here, more if not more of that, and, you know, take down like some T-Rex or something like that. But, you know, I mean, I don't know. I think this is honestly like, I mean, I've been kind of an advocate of like, you know, video game movies. Like, I feel like they can work here. And I think like, you know, there are some pretty like interesting stories that you
like the Mario movie.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm thinking like, you know, like BioShock or Knights of the Old Republic or, you know, stuff like that, like or even like The Last of Us here, you know, like stuff like that I could see like actually being translated well to live action. Stuff like this.
Arkham?
I mean, yeah, I mean, sure. Even
30 movies.
Even though it's like, I mean, I'd be down for like a live action, you know, Arkham Asylum movie here, you know,
Raid style.
Yeah, like just like Die Hard or something like that, you know, just with Batman. I mean, that sounds sick here. But that being said, no, it's I think it's I think this is like honestly like one of the properties that if you were going to like, you know, do something with it, TV, movie or whatever, should have been animated. Whether that was like, you know, in an anime style or like, you know, a CGI or something like that. I don't know. But I felt like that probably would have been the best route to go. But, you know, I guess we'll find out when this movie comes out here and all that business.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure when the release date is for it. Do you know?
Well, I think it was originally supposed to be September, but, you know, everything's being pushed back and, like, everything's being reshuffled here. So, and here's the thing. Like, if there's, like, a big... I'm not entirely sure what's coming out in September. I think A Quiet Place 2 might still be. And I don't think that movie wants to go up against A Quiet Place 2 here. I mean, it's going to get destroyed.
Maybe. There hasn't been a real big blockbuster fighting, bash 'em up, kill a thing movie in who knows how long at this point.
I mean,
if they could leverage COVID, they could leverage and go, no, we're going to be the first movie that comes out.
They could. I mean, and
I'd go see it.
I don't know. I mean, it's really odd to me that we don't even have a trailer yet.
And it's coming out, supposedly coming out in a month or two.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know. I mean,
because we're sitting at mid-July.
Yeah, no, we are sitting at like mid-July. And so, I mean, no, like this year has just been really weird for movies. I mean, like Bill and Ted just recently got a trailer. We don't have like an actual release date. It says like it's supposed to be coming this summer, but it's not actually saying anything. Yeah. So
summer's
like,
almost over.
Yeah, no, we're almost done there. So it's like, what's going on here? Like why? Yeah. Like why are we just now getting a trailer? You're saying this movie's going to be coming out in a couple months, but we're not getting anything or, you know. I don't know. I think studios are just trying to figure out exactly like, okay, how much of this do we actually want to show? Like, because like, you know, now we don't have like an actual set schedule. So we need to like, you know, redo our algorithm on like, building hype and like when to like, release things. I don't know, that might be what's going on.
Could be.
Yeah. So,
well, that's all we got for you guys this week.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed it. Remember to, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, all those good things. Comment, share it with your friends. Subscribe if you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, that whole thing. It helps us out a ton. Check us out on our social medias. And, have a great week. And remember, everyone's a nerd about one thing or another. Or something.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.